The legend of Noah's Ark is one of the most enduring and intriguing stories found in religious texts and cultural lore around the world. It tells the tale of a great flood sent by God to cleanse the earth of human wickedness, sparing only Noah, his family, and a pair of each species of animal they could gather aboard an ark. This narrative originates primarily from the Bible, appearing in the book of Genesis. But similar flood myths exist in many cultures, illustrating its broad resonance and possible roots in shared human experience. The significance of introducing the legend of Noah's Ark lies not only in its religious implications, but also in its symbolic representation of hope, renewal, and the human responsibility to safeguard nature. Understanding this legend is crucial as it sets the stage for exploring the moral and ethical dimensions that underpin the larger topic of the Great Flood. It raises questions about humanity's relationship with the divine, nature, and each other, thus framing discussions of morality, stewardship, and survival. In modern times, the story of Noah's Ark finds parallels in various real-world examples. First, the conservation movement often draws upon the imagery of saving species before it's too late, akin to Noah's act of gathering animals to save them from extinction. Organizations worldwide work tirelessly to prevent animal extinction and preserve biodiversity, showcasing humanity's role in stewarding the earth, much like Noah. Second, the Ark serves as a vessel of salvation and cooperation, akin to the international collaborations seen in response to global challenges like climate change. Just as the Ark was a sanctuary amidst chaos, initiatives like the Paris Agreement seek to unite nations in the face of potential global calamities. Yet the story of Noah's Ark is not without its controversies and alternative viewpoints. Some view it purely as myth or allegory, challenging its historical and factual authenticity. Debates also exist within theological circles regarding its interpretation, sparking discussions about faith, science, and historical evidence. This legend serves as a foundational element that influences and enhances our understanding of other aspects of the Great Flood narrative, such as the nature of divine justice, human obedience, and the resilience of life. In unraveling this legend, we uncover not only the past attempts to make sense of catastrophic events, but also an enduring symbol that continues to inform contemporary issues of ecological and moral responsibility. The historical and cultural context of flood narratives refers to the study of various flood myths and legends found throughout human history and their cultural significance. These narratives, though diverse in origin, often share common themes such as divine retribution, human survival, and the renewal of life. Understanding these contexts is essential to unravel the legend of Noah and his ark, as it situates this biblical story within a broader tapestry of global flood tales and explores what they reveal about human beliefs and societies. The significance of examining these narratives lies in their ability to provide insights into the shared human condition and the ways in which societies have interpreted natural disasters. For example, the Epic of Gilgamesh from ancient Mesopotamia presents a flood narrative with remarkable parallels to the story of Noah, highlighting themes of human hubris and divine punishment, underscoring humanity's perennial quest to understand and appease the divine. Similarly, the Hindu Puranas describe a great deluge wherein the deity Vishnu, as Matsya, saves the world by guiding a boat carrying the Sapta Rishis and sacred texts to safety. These examples illustrate how flood narratives reflect cultural and religious beliefs about morality, divine intervention, and rebirth. Opinions supporting this idea often emphasize the universality of flood narratives as a testament to the collective human experience with nature's overwhelming forces. Scholars argue that these stories preserve crucial lessons about environmental stewardship and social responsibility. However, challenges to this perspective include debates over the historical accuracy of such narratives and their mythological embellishments. Critics argue that while some flood legends may be rooted in real events, they are predominantly metaphorical, complicating efforts to discern historical fact from cultural storytelling. Furthermore, some alternative viewpoints suggest these narratives were merely a means to explain natural phenomena before the advent of scientific inquiry. This contrasts with religious interpretations that view them as divinely inspired. These controversies highlight the complex interplay between science, history, and religion. Understanding the historical and cultural context of flood narratives enhances our comprehension of Noah's Ark, providing insights into its origins, evolution, and significance across different cultures and epochs. It connects this iconic story to a broader dialogue about faith, human resilience, and the power of storytelling, enriching our appreciation of its enduring legacy and influence on various world cultures. The analysis of the biblical account of the Great Flood focuses on dissecting and understanding the narrative of the Great Flood as presented in the book of Genesis. This involves examining the text's historical, theological, and literary aspects to comprehend its significance and implications. The biblical account describes a vast deluge sent by God to cleanse the earth of humanity's corruption, with Noah deemed righteous, instructed to build an ark to save his family and a pair of every animal species. This story is pivotal to the main topic, as it serves as the foundation for exploring themes of divine judgment, redemption, and human morality, while also delving into the rich tapestry of myth and historical analogy that extends beyond religious texts. The significance of the Great Flood narrative is multifaceted, serving as a cultural touchstone that has influenced countless generations. This story is crucial in theological discussions about divine morality and justice, raising questions about the nature of punishment and mercy. Historically, it intersects with discussions on myth versus reality, as many cultures worldwide have similar stories, prompting investigations into possible common historical events, such as large-scale flooding in ancient Mesopotamia. One real-world application of analyzing this account is its influence on literature and art, where it has inspired countless works, reflecting its enduring legacy in human culture. Another application is in the field of archaeology, where researchers have sought evidence of a historical flood that might align with the biblical narrative, using geological and historical data to reveal insights into ancient civilizations. Support for the significance of this analysis can be seen in the enduring scholarly interest in understanding the confluence of myth, history, and ethics found within this account. This narrative continues to be a subject of theological and historical discourse, showcasing its impact across various domains. However, the Great Flood narrative is not without its controversies and challenges. Skeptics question the plausibility of such an event occurring as described, while debates persist regarding the literal versus symbolic interpretation of the text. Alternative viewpoints propose that the story is allegorical, reflecting moral lessons rather than historical facts. This analysis is intimately connected to other facets of exploring the Great Flood, as it informs discussions on the historical accuracy of religious texts and the manner in which these narratives shape cultural and moral paradigms. By understanding the nuances of the biblical account, one can better appreciate its role in shaping religious thought and its enduring influence on human society. The heading, Archaeological and Geological Evidence of Flood Events, explores the intersection of science and legend, specifically focusing on tangible evidence that might shed light on the biblical narrative of Noah's Ark. This concept delves into the remnants left by historical flood events that could either validate or challenge the story of a universal deluge as described in sacred texts. It aims to bridge ancient narratives with scientific inquiry, inviting audiences to ponder the reality behind mythic tales. This point is crucial to unraveling the legend of Noah and his ark because it provides a tangible framework to assess whether such an event could have occurred within the realm of historical possibility. Determining the extent and impact of ancient floods can give credence to certain aspects of the narrative and help explain its persistence across various cultures. For example, the discovery of sediment layers dated to around 5,000 years ago in the region between the Black Sea and the Mediterranean suggests a rapid flooding event. Some researchers propose that this deluge could be a memory encoded in the different flood myths worldwide, including that of Noah. Additionally, Mesopotamian flood narratives, like the Epic of Gilgamesh, echo similar stories, potentially inspired by common experiences amidst early civilizations vulnerable to natural disasters. Proponents of this idea argue that while the existence of a single global flood is unlikely, regional events could account for a shared cultural memory interpreted as a divine or catastrophic event globally. These flood accounts may reflect human attempts to understand and control the forces of nature around them, highlighting a universal human desire for continuity and rebirth following destruction. However, challenges persist, as not all scientists agree on the interpretation of geological data supporting these theories. Critics argue that variations in flood layers and timelines across different regions fail to conclusively support a unified event correlating with the biblical flood. Moreover, some point out the absence of direct, undisputed evidence linking these geological findings to the narrative itself. This aspect deeply connects to other elements of the Noah legend by placing the myth within a broader cultural and historical context. While it doesn't provide absolute conclusive proof, it enriches the story of Noah, turning it into a focal point for understanding how humans, across millennia, have strived to comprehend their world through mythology and stories, responding to the chaos with narratives of survival and resilience.